giving a 10-second countdown. Usually the feed starts about 10 seconds later. So now that we're done with the 10-second countdown, I think we must be live on our platform. If our good friend Saransh, who's sitting behind you, can check if he can see our live feed.
Saransh, are we live?
Or for a change, Rahul, we have come early, before time. 3:30 scheduled stream tha. We are here at 3:28.
3:28.
Otherwise, people will say late today and they've come late, as always late. So
Because
today we
we've joined
surprised them.
virtually. Had it been, if we were doing a physical live show from the studio, then it takes time, because it takes a lot of time and energy to get everybody together in that one studio on time.
Yeah. No, but when we did via the phone breaking news, we're always late. Nah? See, like Ron Weasley is pointing out, early today.
Early today. Wrong, Weasley. Huh? So you
So
had
Coach hai, Avinash Avi hai, Ron Weasley hai, sab hai. So what time did you sleep last night? Honestly, बताना कितने matches देखे, क्या कितना देखा?
what happened was, I think the match was into the third set, and Nadal was leading. He had broken Djokovic in the first game, and then the second game had just started. So I dozed off.
It happened. I was with my brother-in-law. We were watching it together. He promised that he will watch the entire match, but for first set only he crashed. But I watched the full game. Early morning, by the time the sun had come, रोशनी आ गई थी. तब
in India.
In India,
was it that late?
Yes, finished at 5. And summers may the sunlight comes in early, na. So the sun wasn't completely out, but as I said, roshni in the sense you can, the light had come, so you could go out. So it had happened.
You can sleep late also. No? That's not an issue. You can go to bed late also, because you are vacationing somewhere in the mountains, so you can afford to get up late, relax. So that's not an issue. But everybody was actually looking forward to this game, Novak Djokovic versus Rafa Nadal, and in the lead up to this game also, these usually what you see is these two gentlemen, they usually meet either in the finals or maybe in a semi-final, here in the quarterfinals. But now that Nadal has won this game, I think this tournament, at least from here on, there can be just one loser. There can be just one loser, and that is Rafa Nadal, because everybody would bet that Nadal is going for his 14th French Open title. No?
I agree. Abhi, I'm just going to put one thing out, which you will know. See.
Incoming, yaar. I thought you were a Nadal fan.
I am. I just thought let's have some fun. So I want to ask a lot of people, because some people have already commented, because our title is also that. So Avinash Avi, to that question, that since he's beaten Djokovic, is Nadal's 22nd Grand Slam guaranteed? Avinash Avi says no, it's not guaranteed. We'd love to know why you think like that. VVM says most probably. You can say that the 27 is there. Shubham Kokche says number 14 is on the card. 14 French Open and 22nd overall.
Pete Sampras, one of the greatest of all time, won 14 Grand Slam titles in total, and not too long ago he had the maximum number of Grand Slam titles. Here we have a man, Rafa Nadal, who's now gunning for his 14th Grand Slam title just at one particular venue. That's French Open, Rolling Arrows. Amazing.
Incredible. In fact, that's the conversation I was having with my brother-in-law. That, we used to look at, like, he gave an example of, let's say, a Becker, 6 Grand Slam title. In our growing up days, Becker was an all-time great, right? 6 Grand Slam title, all-time great. Today, what are we looking at? 20 plus. These guys are 20 plus, 20 plus Grand Slam titles. Can you, that now makes you look back at 6, 7, all these greats that won 6 title or 11 titles, Connors and, Bjorgs and all of those guys,
Exactly.
makes them look, I mean, again, they will be great, yes, but just look at that, double that, triple that. In Becker's case, more than triple. Can you imagine?
Bjorn Borg, I thought that could have, he could have finished with perhaps the most number of Grand Slam titles, retired at 26. Had, if I'm not wrong, 6 French Open and 5 Wimbledon, if I'm not wrong.
Wimbledon. Yeah,
Correct.
correct.
Correct. Siddharth, am I right?
Yes, yes, you're right.
Siri says yes, you are right. So that's an acknowledgement. And retiring at 26, when we thought that the best days were ahead for Bjorn Borg, and you never know, maybe 11 titles, and he could have ended up with say 20, 21, 25 Grand Slam titles. But since then, and imagine, this is the best era that everybody of us is so fortunate to have seen all 3 greats playing together. Imagine,
Yep.
had it been just a Federer, just a Nadal, or just a Djokovic, one of these guys would have would have won how many, 40 odd titles by now, 40 odd Grand Slams.
Yeah, actually, that's true. On that subject, the Punisher says only Alcaraz was capable of winning the French Open. Now that he's out, it'll be an easy win for Goat. Benjamin Andrew Stokes, our friend, says Zverev will too put his best foot ahead to win his maiden Grand Slam. Can't say it's guaranteed title for Nadal. So two different comments between the Punisher and Benjamin Andrews. Stoke. What do you think? I mean, see, again, Alcaraz, I also, to be fair, expected him to be the challenger. He has had the best winning percentage this year out of all the players. Had come
Hmm.
in here beating Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal on clay, winning titles. Italian Open, I think he won, beating all of them
Right,
at
in
Rome,
Rome.
and then in Rome. That's correct. So, and then winning. So he did look like, for once, I felt that he's not one of those youngsters that are just being spoken about. He's genuinely a contender. And then he's a bit, uh, uh, I wouldn't say arrogant, but overconfident, where he said, "Yeah, I'm ready. I can beat them," and all of that. So I like that attitude, young kid, really. But Zverev, so for Zverev itself, it was a big day. He had never beaten a top 10 ranked player in a Grand Slam, and that stat
Hmm.
really, went against him. People said that, oh, he can win all these tour titles, but he's not good enough in Grand Slam. But yesterday, he's beaten a top 10 player to reach the semi-final. I know he'll be waiting for the likes of he was waiting for Djoko or Nadal, but now he's facing Nadal. Now,
Yeah.
and in my internal discussion with a lot of friends who are tennis fans, we keep talking, and a lot of them said that this time you can't take Zverev lightly because his backhand is outstanding. I mean, that backhand against Alcaraz
Right.
was on fire. But having said all of that, I think that when it comes to Grand Slams, then Zverev, I doubt would have had a chance, whether it was Nadal or whether it was Djoko. But Nadal in this form, I don't think, the only thing that could have gone against Nadal is he's played 8 hours in the last
In almost 48 hours,
yeah, in
8 hours
48
of
hours.
game time.
Correct. But luckily for him now, he's got a
2 day
longish break.
break.
The game is on Friday.
Right.
So finished playing on Tuesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, almost a 3 day gap, which he's got, which is enough time for Rafael Nadal to recover in case, if he's feeling tired. So I don't think that Zverev is the guy who can challenge. If you ask me now, I'd make my prediction. I'd go to an extent of something like 80-20 in Nadal's favor.
Uh, I think I would go with 90-10 in favor of
Mm.
Nadal. You know what you said, in these Grand Slams, these players, these greats, Roger Federer, Nadal, or a Djokovic, they tend to raise the bar. And it's a huge, huge occasion. I think, see, everybody was talking about Alcaraz, but I was wondering, I thought the occasion got the better of him, for
Mm.
him, a Grand Slam match. And this and Zverev is not a spring chicken, as if he has not he's been uh, uh, he's played these Grand Slams many a times, and we know his quality. Just that, and also, I think when you if you watch both these players, Nadal and Zverev, Zverev at times, I think he relies too much on his backhand, his forehand perhaps, and that is what Nadal is going to test, his forehand. But as of now, I think Nadal, because earlier before this game against Djokovic, I remember, in fact, we were also talking about that. That Nadal wanted an early game, an evening game, but he got a night game.
Yeah.
So I thought uh, people were talking about different angles, ball dips, gets heavy, this, that. Then I thought the only reason that Nadal wanted an early game could be that his endurance levels, uh, to what I notice or what I think, is better than majority of the players. So he would, and perhaps he also knows that, and he wanted Djokovic also to feel that kind of heat and everything, or in those conditions. So he thought that I have a better chance playing in the evening than in night. So I thought that could be the only reason. But irrespective whether it is day, night, evening, whatever, it's if it is clay court, Nadal usually
Yeah.
will win.
Yeah, so I mean, why this win is very important. By the way, shout out to Rishikesh Sharma. He points out one thing, sir, that Alcaraz won the Madrid Open and Barcelona Open. Italian Open was won
Yes.
by Djokovic. So we stand corrected. Thank you, Rishikesh, for pointing that out. Yes, Djoko started a bit slowly, and then picked up a little later, and then he
Madrid didn't Zverev. Okay,
yeah,
Alcaraz.
Madrid,
Okay,
even the
sorry.
Madrid and the Barcelona, that I think is correct. And Italian, now I remember, that was the title Djoko won before coming in. So that's why they were saying that he's back to his best.
Mm.
Why I think in terms of Nadal's win yesterday, and I think it was an upset. Even though people will say he's the king of clay, he's the greatest of all time on clay, all of that, yes, taken. But this victory that he's got against Djokovic, I will still call it an upset for various reasons. One, it was the night game which suited Djokovic's style of play more than Nadal. Other point that Rahul points out, that maybe endurance, he thought that he could outlast most opponents, maybe including Djokovic during the heat. So that's another factor. So all of these factors going against him. Also remember, Nadal had played just before this a five-setter against Alice May. So it seemed like he was not on top of his game. Remember, he even pulled out before the French Open in a tournament because of his foot injury issues. So you knew that he's not here in the best position.
Yes.
Then you remember the psychological advantage that Djoko has over Nadal. You'll even go back to last time. Okay, 2020, Nadal almost humiliated him at the French Open. Djokovic, but Djokovic got that revenge back 2021, winning in 4 sets, lost the first set, imagine Djoko, then comes back and wins the 3 sets to win. So the edge was on Djoko, the noises coming out of his camp, he was feeling refreshed, he was feeling like, he's going to give it all. Ranking world number 1 versus world number 5 in terms of where Rafael Nadal was, had played more hours of tennis, Djoko the fresher player. So all of these things put together, bookmakers, had Novak Djokovic is a clear favorite to win yesterday's contest. So everything put together, Djokovic, even though Clay's Nadal's favorites are surface, Djokovic went in as the favorite, and from there to have that dominating performance that Nadal had, the way he started, I know that Djoko started slowly, but even when he warmed up, even then, I mean, you talk about the third set, the fourth set, Djokovic serving, how
Mm.
I can't think. I mean, it's happened with Federer many times that he's serving or on match point that someone pulls it back. Djoko, that once he's got his foot on you, it's very very tough to dislodge that. Him leading that 5-3, I think he was leading, even serving for the match. From there to Nadal to break it, take it to the tiebreaker from win. Absolutely incredible to do it against a player like Djokovic in the form that he is. Incredible, incredible.
Nikhil, you said that Djokovic was the favorite going into this match. I agree, but one point that you made, that he had fresher legs in terms of he hadn't played, but maybe that could be the reason why Djokovic couldn't match the endurance levels of Nadal here. I can't remember when was the last time in the recent past that Djokovic played a five setter. I can't remember, be it Madrid,
I'll
Rome.
tell you.
Did
The
he?
last five setter he played was in September. The last five setter
So
he played was in September at the US Open, if I'm not mistaken. That was the last five
so
setter he
so
played.
he hasn't played a single five setter since then. I
Since
thought he.
September,
Oh,
yes, last September,
I thought
yes.
in the last 3 4 months he hadn't played, but
No, September.
oh.
So that's a good 8 9 months. A good eight
Hmm?
9 months, almost closing in on a year since his last five setter came there. Then after that, he kept playing tour where you only have the best of three sets, so there was no chance. And in the
Right.
Grand Slam, he missed out Australian Open. Otherwise, he may have played. And then he came on the French and has not lost a set, so hasn't gone and
Yes. Here also I think he
In
didn't
fact,
drop
sorry, not forget five setter. He's not played four sets or more since September. That was the
since
last time
September
since September.
because he didn't drop a set here at
Yes,
the French Open.
yes,
Hmm. And
yes.
see, Nadal definitely played well, but I think Djokovic also had his shortcomings here, especially from a player of his caliber. What you mentioned, he was serving for the set, and Nadal. I just watched that again in the morning today, and Nadal just
Hmm.
played a drop shot, and this guy Djokovic didn't even run to retrieve it didn't even run to retrieve it. I That is because, see, I already knew the result, so I was trying to catch a few important points, and I noticed that that could have been the trigger moment when Djokovic
Yeah, yeah.
and
I remember that drop shot. I think that was in
and
the third set or the fourth set.
third set. I think
Third,
you're right.
third,
You are right. You are
third
right.
set. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Because
Third set.
because what had happened is that the momentum it started with Nadal. He dominated till second set 3-0 when he was leading. Then Djokovic comes back, wins that second set. So after his comeback, when he started breaking till the third set, where he was, so it seemed like there was a or till the fourth set, if I'm not mistaken, it seemed like he was dominating. And then that drop shot, I remember that drop shot. And I remember the commentators saying that, is this the point where the momentum changes or something like that?
Yes, that and also I was just going through a few numbers. Of course, once you are done with the result, numbers do come up, and I just got to know that out of these two players have faced each other 59 times
Yes. 30 twenty
and
nine.
30-29, and out of those 59 times, a player who has won the first set has gone on to win the match on 50 occasions, 50. So that's a
Wow.
massive number.
Yep.
So maybe because once the other player wins the first set, it's a catch up job, be it
Yep.
Nadal or Djokovic, and then you have to prepare yourself mentally. See, when you are playing any sport, you have to test your physicality, mentality, and also I think in matches like these, when you're playing up top players of the caliber of maybe a Djokovic or Nadal, it is also emotionally very draining.
Yeah.
You're playing, and the moment you lose the first set, you have to prepare yourself that if I have to win this game, I'll
Mm.
have to win this game in the fifth set now. So I think that is where maybe mentally, to be very honest, Djokovic didn't seem to be in his elements yesterday.
Yep.
Although credit has to go to Nadal.
I was listening to what Djokovic said. He said that I started off slowly, but then I reached my top game from that second set onwards. But he said Nadal took his game to another level. And if he's playing at this level, then it's tough to beat him. So I think maybe marginally you could say marginally that Djoko may have been rusty because he hasn't played a Grand Slam, as we were talking about, not playing since September. So it is a bit of a difference. So that confidence could be an issue. I agree. But yesterday, the way Nadal was playing, thought Nadal last time when he lost in 2021 in the semis to Djoko, I think Nadal looked very tentative. He wasn't playing to his strengths, wasn't going for very too many winners. He was being more defensive. This time I saw a more aggressive Rafael Nadal, who was going for his forehands, was going for his backhand. He was going for the wins or the winners, and had reduced his unforced error. So I think in this form on clay, next to impossible to beat Rafael Nadal, no matter how.
If he's absolutely fit.
Yes, at this the way
And
he was playing.
and he's
Yeah.
traveling with his doctor. That's
Yes.
what the
Yes.
cameras and what we got to know
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Everywhere, in fact, since I think Rome or Madrid, he's been traveling with his doctor. Usually, these players do take their physios and everybody, but his doctor is traveling now.
Yeah, he said at the post match yesterday. I remember
Yeah.
the question was asked to him saying that, "Oh, Rafa, please don't say this is the last time. We want to keep watching you coming year and year after the French Open." He said, "I can't say that. All I can promise is that I'll be back on Friday. That is the only thing that I can promise for the semis. I'll be back because I'm feeling fit, so I'll come. What happens with my
In,
injury, I don't know."
In fact, at the press conference after the match, after the post-match presentation ceremony, at the press conference also, he was asked the very same question. How much does the crowd support motivate you or help you? Because remember, Djokovic was booed when he when his name was announced yesterday when he arrived into the arena. And in fact, when he was asked, Nadal was asked the same question, that how much does that motivate you when you have such a great crowd support? He said the crowd, I think, is anticipating that this could be my last day here, and they may not see me ever again here, playing here at Roland Garros. So that is one of the reasons, possibly that. But he is not giving any closed-ended answers, as to
Yes.
whether he will be back or not for next year at French Open. So he's keeping it pretty open. And there are indications, going by what he is saying, that he may not actually return. Otherwise,
Yes.
he hasn't said anything optimistic also that he wants to play or he will play. That if he would say that, I will come back next year, I would want to play again. But he's not giving any closed-ended answer.
Yeah, because he keeps saying, no, whenever you ask him in interviews, that I'm just happy that I'm fit and I'm playing right now. What happens, forget next slam, what happens 2 days later, 3 days later, next week, I don't know. Such is my body. And we know that he's had extended time out of the tour because of injuries. There've been
He's
months,
36,
6 months,
right?
8 months.
He's 36, no?
35, I think. He'll turn
30.
36
He'll
in 2 days
turn in 2 days
time.
time. In
In 2 or 3 days time, I think.
Oh, so
3rd
third June he'll turn. So that means he'll be playing his semi-final that day
Yes, I
on his
told you his
birthday.
birthday is coming up. It's 3rd June or something like
Oh,
that. Yeah.
you're
So
a
he'll
true
be.
Nadal fan.
I am. I'll tell you. I'll give an example. You remember Himanshu, who was doing the coverage for us during the
Yes,
Champions League. So I put a tweet out. He replied to my tweet. So for people who don't know, I mean, they must have seen him while he was covering. So he's a huge Federer fan, and he had been for many years. And I was a Nadal fan. I'm
just
talking
like
about
me.
initial years, right, where this argument. And so his argument in those days used to be, oh, he can never be a goat. He just wins on clay and all of that. Yesterday, he sent a tweet out to me saying, Nikhil sir, Nadal is goat. I said, how come you're saying that? You're not saying he's winning on clay. He says, no, I was watching the match. So because he stays in Paris, he went for yesterday's Djoko. He says, I watched the match. It got very cold at 10 degrees towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
It was very cold, but I was watching. And he says the kind of tennis that he plays, forget clay, forget any surface. He is the GOAT. He is the greatest that I've ever seen on the tennis court. So this is a proven Federer fan who
Himanshu
said
is these days. Himanshu is the real goat, by the way. Covering and watching that Champions League final, then
yeah,
watching this
yeah, life.
Nadal versus Djokovic quarterfinal. Maybe maybe he's there for the final,
Yeah.
and or maybe he can
No.
witness Nadal winning his 14th Grand Slam. But it is very difficult for me. You have your own favorite player. I have my own somebody. For example, I'm a huge Federer fan, as you
Yeah.
are a Nadal fan. Then,
Yes.
but if you look at all these players, Djokovic, who may not have those many fans. I think he is a well-rounded player. If you compare him with Nadal and Federer,
Yeah.
but still,
See,
I'm
I think he gets a. It's because of his nature. Sometimes he's a bit bombastic in his comments, and I know that he likes to charge himself, and he says, people tend to like.
he's the Ranveer Singh of tennis, huh?
Maybe people tend to like more humble guys, and that's why you will see more and more fans for Federer and Nadal because they're so humble.
Yes.
Also, can I tell you, initially there used to be a huge fight between Federer and Nadal fans, and they couldn't stand each other. But I have actually now seen, and I've seen it in my family and all with friends going who are hardcore Federer fans. After Federer has tapered off, and you know that he's towards the end of his career, they have actually gravitated towards Nadal and not Djoko. They've actually started supporting Nadal because they think he's a humble guy. They share a great
Yes.
relationship. He has a lot of respect for Federer. So a lot of Federer fans have become Nadal fans, not Djoko. Usually, what happens if I like someone, then I and my main rival, in which case Federer's main rival was Nadal, then you end up supporting the guy who's going to beat Nadal rather than your direct
Hmm.
rival. But that's not happened in Federer Nadal's case. Most fans that I've met who are Federer fans now are gravitating towards Nadal, not Djoko or anybody else, because they like that humble nature, just down to earth. He's still like. I remember when he won the Australian Open just now, and I was looking at this video where he arrived in his hometown in Mallorca. He is in the airport just pushing his own trolley, then goes out to the parking where his wife is waiting. He puts his own saman. We're so used to celebrities in India or anywhere, like 10, 5 security bouncers asking the crowd to stay away. He was so at home, so simple, just like anybody would be coming into the airport. This is after winning that marathon Australian. So there are a lot of things to like about him. Now I don't think Federer can catch him. Djoko could be the only guy who goes past his 21, or it could be 22. I don't know. But
21, he's already Nadal is already leading that list with 21.
yes,
In fact, I saw a comment here also. I'm forgetting the name. The gentleman mentioned that after his win here at French Open, Nadal will be the all-time leading Grand Slam winner in terms of men and women. Men, he is already leading, and
yeah,
for women singles, if I uh, say so, I think Serena is 23, right? Margaret, but I'm talking about the Serena.
Referee
Serena is
22.
Serena is 23. Nadal is 21.
Wow.
With 20, who? No, no, I'm talking in men's singles. So he's ahead of
Yeah, yeah,
everybody.
yeah,
So and the a lot of players would think that had we been playing in some other era, how well we could have done.
yep,
These
yep.
2001, Federer since 2001, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Huh?
No,
No,
first,
2001
first,
he came into the
yeah, he came
he came
first
into the scene.
2003, I think, where he beat Sampras, right? That's the first time he won the Wimbledon,
Yes,
2003, Federer, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
2003. But he had arrived into the scene in 2001. By 2001, Federer was there. So almost 21 years now. More than
Yeah.
21 years.
Yeah. Yogendra Singh is saying, Nikhil sir, paint your wall. Sir, ये style है sir, ये wall का
Sky.
style है. It's to be painted.
It's a
That's
mansion.
not a
He has
mansion.
different walls.
It's a small house. Uh,
and
yeah,
and
as
you were telling about the humility, how humble these
yeah,
the Nadal and Federer, at least for them we can say that. um, so I remember a friend of mine, she was in Switzerland.
huh.
So what is the name of Federer's village where he's from, where
Ah,
you have that tournament also? Basel.
hmm,
So there, what happened? So she wanted to, huge Federer fan. Just if I could get a glimpse of Federer in Switzerland, dream come true. Yeah. So she was talking to people. Yeah. So somebody said that this is a restaurant. If you are lucky enough, Federer usually comes here for breakfast. You can go there. spend some time, have your breakfast. If you're lucky enough, you might just bump into Federer. Imagine, as luck would have it, Federer came there for breakfast, had his breakfast. This girl met Federer, and imagine. ऐसे
Wow.
किस्मत हो तो ऐसी हो. हम यहाँ पे जोकोविच का मैं इंतजार करता रह गया. That when India was to play against Serbia in
Yes.
2015, he didn't turn up. Djokovic
Yes.
being Djokovic. So although we knew
And
that
Nadal turned up. Nadal turned up for Davis Cup.
yes,
He played
Nadal turned
doubles.
up.
He played
Yes,
doubles.
and I was lucky
Previously.
enough to meet him.
I
I
also
went to, I
I
think
went
they
for
were
that
staying
singles also, that exhibition that Federer Nadal played singles and then double
the
at Indira Gandhi
oh,
Stadium.
so you're talking about the that IPTL, ITPL.
IPTL. That also I went. No,
Huh?
Davis Cup also he
Uh,
played. Doubles he played. He pulled out of singles but played
yes,
doubles.
yes, 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 yes. So I met him at the hotel Hyatt. So
Oh,
David Ferrer also was there, and he was a very David Ferrer. Although he had to live
oh.
in the in
You know what we
in
used to call him? We used to call him amongst us. We used to call him the Duracell Bunny because he would not run out of battery.
right.
Ferrer just would keep running. So we used to call him Duracell Bunny.
And actually he was a very good player, and now I just look back, there are so many players who could have done so much
Yeah,
in terms of winning these Grand Slam. David Ferrer could have won so many Grand Slam, couldn't. Wawrinka, imagine how good Wawrinka must have been
yeah.
to have won. I think he didn't win a French Open. He's won a no.
No, he's one of
Has
French.
Wawrinka won a French? No, he's won an Australian Open, US Open, and Wimbledon. So he hasn't won. So there was a time when I thought that he would complete his career slam before Djokovic. There was a time.
Yeah,
So
imagine.
Andy Murray, the greatest of all time, huh?
British media. So I
Uh,
think Wawrinka won French, if I'm not mistaken. He didn't win
has won the
Wimbledon.
French Open, na?
He's not
See, he's
won
wrong. He
Wimbledon.
hasn't won a Wimbledon. That's why. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes. So he's
Yes.
won a French.
Parth is
And
pointing that.
and the most difficult thing was to win a French Open, because at that
Yeah.
stage Nadal would not spare anybody. You go to a French Open, the first person you know that Nadal is winning this game. So, and he had done the difficult part. So he had won the French Open, he had won the Australian Open, he had won the season-ending your US Open. So now the only thing that was left was Wimbledon. And at that time, I thought that Wawrinka can actually win a Wimbledon title, but as you know, he couldn't. And he also very similar to Roger Federer, a very strong one-handed backhand that he had, very impressive, beautiful.
Yeah. So before we wind up, would you say incoming loading or not? 20-second.
Being a Federer fan, I know 22 is a huge number, but I think Nadal, if Nadal is winning two more Grand Slams, it's fine with me. Being a Federer fan, as you said, that people have gravitated towards Nadal, but irrespective of their nature and anything and everything, Nadal and these two, but and maybe all these players, all three of them, they are the reason why Federer is not giving up even at 40 or 39. Nadal is not giving up. So they are only raising their level just with every match, every year. They don't want to give up because he's playing there. I am not going to give up. So a lot of people actually asked me. In fact, uh, a few days back when we were going for that match, our
Yeah.
cricket match, we are not good enough to play tennis, of course. So I don't know about you. Your daughter plays tennis, right?
Yes. My wife also plays tennis.
Huh?
I also play,
Oh,
but not very. I'm not great at it.
oh. So, so somebody is asking me, why is Federer not retiring? Why is Federer not retiring? So maybe all, a Nadal would motivate Federer to keep going the
Yep.
performances. And also I don't know, see, they have a Federer would have a lot of money that I too can't even think about. So and I was telling them, even a first round loss in Australian Open, you get around $40,000.
Yeah.
$40,000 if you make a first round exit. And here you have a man who's consistently making it to the semifinals at least, or a quarterfinal, semifinal. So imagine the amount of money that he's making, and also it's a sponsor commitment also that, and you are a crowd puller.
Mm-hmm. I know I'm looking forward. Friday, we will be doing post the match or before the match some sort of preview. We're getting different opinions. Amit pointed out that Zverev, if he lands most of his first serve in, he's going to win. Mridul here saying no, Nadal will win 22nd. Me and Rahul both think that it'll be very tough for Zverev to stop Nadal. I know 3 setters are a different ball game where Zverev has had the edge over Nadal, but 5 setters on clay, I find it very tough for anyone to come up. So yeah, we'll be covering that. Also tonight is a big game. It's Argentina Italy tonight in the football. It's the South American champions versus the European champions. So that's another game to watch out for. But more than that, I'm looking forward to the tennis. And what's the agenda on cricket today?
That's what you tell me. Are you going to join us?
I can, depending on what time that we'll connect offline, and then we'll decide.
Yeah, let's decide. Siddharth,
Hmm?
what's the this thing, our dugout session about today? Arey, yeah, let's not. Siddharth has come up with a brilliant idea though. He's saying we should do a session. Our dugout session should be on women's IPL. They are looking for a slot. Super, Siddharth, super. Logistically, what are the chances? See? Anyways, I think we'll have to connect offline.
We'll connect offline on that. ठीक है. See you guys
Chalo.
for joining us. See you. You guys have a good time.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.